Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, maybe, or even good evening, everybody. Welcome into this webinar. Actually, it's a webinar which is a follow-up on the webinar we had on the 9th of March, actually regarding our learning journeys. And today, actually, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into the learning journeys. And for the ones who don't know me, my name is Herman van Leeuwen. I'm working at Companial. Actually, already for 10 years. I started Companial together with Joop back 10 years ago. And well, before that, I was in the NAV or Navision world. So I already have decades of experience in the Navision world. And it's actually my pleasure actually to tell you something which is actually completely new. I think it will be also a game changer like the cloud did a few years ago. Is that actually we want to talk with you about retaining and recruitment of employees. And actually, I'm from Companial. For the ones who don't know Companial, Companial is a so-called value-added distributor. We are mainly based in Europe, together with around 200 employees, mainly based in Vilnius and in Leusden. We serve Dynamics partners. The majority of these partners are Business Central partners. And as you can see, we are also an official learning partner. Together with Platan, which is maybe unknown by you, but Platan is one of the training partners of Microsoft already for many, many years. They develop also the Microsoft Learn programs for Microsoft. And we have established a relationship with them, I think about 7 or 8 years ago. And now I think that it's time to enter a new era in training and learning. And today I'm going to tell you everything about it. So if you missed something during our launch on the 9th of March this month, I'm happy to inform you once again why we come up with this proposition. So let's get started with the agenda. It's a very easy agenda. For the ones who are familiar with the golden circle, it's all about the why, the how, and the what. So let's start with the why. Because as stated, we as Companion, we are a value-added distributor and would like to add value to our partners. Mainly the 1,000 partners are serving end customers with Business Central. And actually, we are constantly in contact with them to see how they can grow their business. Because at the end, everybody wants to grow their business. And you can discuss a lot of different topics, how you can grow the business. You can sell more products, be more efficient on projects or whatever. But actually, it all comes down actually to one business strategy. And that's you need the right experts because we are in an industry where we serve end customers by experts. Like if you're going to the doctor, you also expect that he has the right expertise to help you. So if you want to grow your Business Central business, because today we're talking about learning journeys for Business Central, there's actually only one way to do so, and that's invest in experts, grow your experts, grow in volume, so more capacity, but also grow in more expertise, just to make sure that you can grab that extra revenue. Because if we listen carefully to our partners, there are customers enough, there is demand enough, but the issue is with the expert. And that's made us think as a Companion, because we want to solve this for our partners. We are the center of expertise for our partners, and we need to solve this challenge. And actually, if you look at this challenge, the only way you can increase actually the capacity, but also the skill set of your expert, is to look at it as from a more holistic view, because it's not only about train your company or train your experts, it's actually the whole circle. And let me explain you a little bit about this circle, because it's a quite known circle. It all starts, of course, with attraction. So attract the right people. Then actually the recruit phase, where you have these candidates, and you have to judge if they fit into your company and if you're willing to invest in them. Then in the whole onboarding phase, I will dive into that a little bit deeper, but it's quite an important phase and not very known by our partners that it's so important. Then the retention phase, where you invest in them and make sure that they are fully skilled to do the job. Then the development phase, where they probably change a little bit their role or change a little bit the way are operating towards your end customers. And then the separation phase, also important, very unknown, because, well, people retire, but also people are leaving your company, and you would like that they leave in a way that they can also serve you in the attraction phase. So that made us think, how can we crack this code? How can we help our partners actually to support them in that employee life cycle? And if you look at the stats, they need help because to keep your employees, it's quite difficult. So if you look at the cost, even if an employee leaves, it's about 1.5 year salary. So if an employee leaves, you see that the ROI is really on the bad side, on the bad part. And you see actually when people are leaving, the first 4% already in the first week, 20 within the first 45 days, and actually 1/3 of them even leaves in the first year. And where are they leaving to? So it looks like employees, they look at companies who are investing actually in development and learning. So if you look at that circle and you think yourself, well, this is not that important to me because we are currently only investing in recruitment and maybe in development. No, you have to take a look at the whole circle because it's about the organization, not the components in the employee. No, if you are serving the whole circle, then you are an attractive employer for your employees. And learning and development is key in this. So how did we actually look at it? So we investigated actually how we can solve this. So what do we need to do actually to support our partners in that employee life cycle? And first, we need to make sure that our partners are able to position themselves as that employer of choice. So if that 70% is really looking to you as an employer, that they see that you are investing in development and that you have a learning culture. Secondly, once you have attracted the right candidate, you want to make sure that he feels that you are in the learning mode and that he wants to stay because, well, it's important actually in the second phase that during the onboarding that they stay. You saw the 4% is leaving already in a few days, and within 45 days, the rest is already gone. So you have to make sure also in your onboarding process that they directly see that learning is something which is actually embedded in your company. And then in the retention phase, we need new skills. We are in an industry which is, well, demands a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge. So we have to make sure that your employees have the right skills to answer the questions of your customers, because you are selling experts, not new hires, not juniors. No, our customers, they deserve, but also demand experts. And then actually the self-skill development, every expert, every professional, he wants to develop themselves. So you have to give them tools, a training program, courses, but also the culture actually to develop themselves. And then if they leave, make sure that they leave it as ambassadors, because, well, you know that in the attraction phase, it's very helpful to have, ex-colleagues who are still in favor of your company. So if you look at all these different areas, we came up with the idea to use the Business Central Booster program of Plataan and create a learning journey. So the Business Central Boosters are mainly familiar with you, that are, well, training on Business Central, very known. And we created actually a program around these Business Central Boosters called the Learning Journeys. So what are these learning journeys? So first of all, we actually separated actually the proposition. So the learning journeys are actually more or less focusing on the onboarding, retention, and the development phase. And we have a so-called EVP toolkit. EVP stands for Employee Value Proposition, actually to help you as a partner in actually attract the right people and attract and recruit the right people. Because we see that a lot of our partners, they invest of course in HR, they invest of course in retention, and they recruit also, but they recruit all more or less in the same pond, because partner economics investigated where other partners, business center partners, recruit their new employers. And what you can see is that already half of them is actually recruiting with your other partner. So actually, we are all fishing more or less in the same pond. So we have to make sure that you stand out as an employer in that particular pond, but that you also fish in different ponds, like universities or new hires or students. So we have created actually that employee value proposition toolkit to help you to promote your company and become an employer of choice for these new hires, but also with the employers of other partners. And the MVP toolkit, it's actually an set, it's a manual. And in that manual, you can read actually the recommendation. We hired an agency who's actually very professional in creating branding for partners. So we have created this manual. And in this manual, you find all kind of examples, but also a step-to-step guidance how you can actually promote yourself as the employer of choice and help you actually to serve the first half of the employee life cycle. And I will switch my screen right now because I want to show you actually a little bit about the manual. It looks like this, but I want to show you the content. If you give me 1 second, and then I will switch to another program. Wait a second. Here we go. I try to switch it as fast as possible. Here you go. I assume you all see my screen. Augusta, if I don't hear you, I assume everybody sees my screen.
Yes.
And actually, this is the manual. It's an PDF document. And in this manual, you will find actually the whole guidance actually to improve your recruitment and retention, because the toolkit is not only focusing on the new hires, it also focuses actually on your existing employees to make sure that they also fully understand the value you bring with your company to them. And well, it's actually a toolkit. It's very practical, so you can actually directly use this toolkit in your communication. It's actually not built for marketeers or HR specialists or recruiters. It can help, well, you as an owner of the company, you as a manager, you as a HR. Everybody can actually use this manual actually to improve the recruitment and the retention. Well, I walked through it, and you see the values, but you see also a lot of examples actually. So examples how to create confidence, how to make sure that you stand out, how you can work on social media. So what kind of postings you should do on social media actually to stand out. Then also support actually in the onboarding, so actually in the journey. So how do you communicate during that boarding process and during that recruitment process? How does your brand work? So how can you correlate actually your brand with your recruitment motion? And all kind of examples. So it's just copy and paste. You can even use the videos we have created for you. You can reuse the messaging we have created. You can put your own flavor on it. You are allowed also to use the Business Center Booster brand in your communication. So it gives you, well, actually hand-on tools actually to directly reach out to, well, different punts, but also show off to your existing employees that, well, you're still the employer of choice. And let me switch back again. I'm sorry for that switching, but I think this is the best way to do it. Where are we today? Here. So this EVP toolkit is actually part of our learning journey. And that's actually focusing on the top set facts of the top phases of the employee life cycle. Then the second part is actually the learning journeys, and we received actually a lot of questions about, Herman, what are learning journeys and what is training? And I'm trying to explain it to you. I'll do my very best. Actually, the big difference between learning and training is that learning is really focusing on reaching your goals, reaching that growth. So learning is not actually just a thing which you do just for one employee. No, learning is actually within your whole company. It's actually a change of culture. And secondly, learning is actually about absorbing knowledge. It's not about communicating knowledge. No, it's about absorbing your knowledge and build that into the skill set, not only of your employers, but into the skill set of your whole company. Because it's a team effort. So learning is not just something which is individual. No, it's something which you should embed in your whole company. And training is, well, you understand it. A lot of you already ordered training at Companial that are one-on-one, so one-off events. So I want to learn Power Platform, or I want to learn Power BI, or I want to learn DevOps. That's one-off, and that's really tactical. This is continuous improvement. So you're investing with the learning journeys actually in continuous improvement. And continuous improvement is necessary because remember, people are searching for companies who have learning in their culture, that it's part actually of the day-to-day operations. And that's actually the second point. Learning journeys and learning culture in learning is actually embedded completely in the company. So it's not a question if there's learning. No, it's embedded. And training is more or less, independent. It's more personal. It's case-based. So the big difference between learning and training, in my opinion, is that training is more or less one-off and necessary on a particular moment in time for a particular job. And learning is something which is embedded actually in your employees, but also in your culture of your company. So what about these learning journeys? Actually, I stated the learning journeys are actually developed on the success of the Business Central boosters. In the meantime, already 2,000 students have followed the Business Central boosters, and everybody is really thrilled about it. And because this is a good way actually to train employees, we thought, well, this is just a training. We want to make a learning culture shift. So we have created this journey. So it's not really, I will show it later on. It's not really an all-you-can-eat restaurant where we have assembled all these boosters, and you can choose as a student or as an expert yourself what kind of boosters you want to follow. No, you get guidance by an instructor. So we have a few of these MVP instructors which can always work together with the students, and they will help them actually to follow the right journey into the program. The program is always updated and added. Actually, today we even added a few new items. So it's actually serving always that continuous learning. So the learning journey, in our opinion, doesn't have an end. It's always updated. And because Platan is also the developer of the Microsoft Learn for Business Central, you will always find the latest information about Business Central and the latest updates. So it's actually developed for continuous learning, or how it's stated over here, for professional development. So my suggestion is just take a look. Let's have a look at it. I will switch my screen once again. And then I will show you how it looks like from a student. And I'm now logged in as a student. And we have different levels. I will show them later on. So we have different levels in the program. And you're logged in actually in a journey. So, and in these journeys, there are all kinds of courses. So this is one course because you are onboarded as a developer. I'm a new hire developer. And then once you made progress, there are other tracks you can follow and then become proficient. And you see that it's blended. There are all kinds of different training courses within the boosters. But of course, we also have some live webinars. And you can see over here that we have some live webinars. You can register for that live webinar. If you can't follow it, then the recording will be sent to you. So you can really register on your live webinar. You also have always the availability to contact one of the instructors. So if I go to Lounge, then you see that, well, this is a movie. but there is a lot of content in here. You see, I'm now currently in the introduction, and then you get different modules. For each module you passed, you receive points. So you can see here how many points you have. And depending on the number of points you have, you can reach a certain level in the development. And based on the levels you have reached, you can also create badges. You can share these badges. You can publish them on LinkedIn or on social media. So these badges are not really exams, but it gives you an idea how good you are and how skilled you are on that particular topic. The learning journeys are also preparations for the official Microsoft exams. So, for instance, in this case, if you follow the consultant track in the business in the learning journeys, you can also be prepared for the MB 800. And well, Microsoft is now considering also to create an exam for developers called probably the MB 820. And of course, as soon as that's available, we will put that also in our learning journeys. As stated, there is a lot of content. I'm now in just one learning journey, and we receive a lot of questions. Well, Herman, how much time will it actually take to pass, well, a complete learning journey? Well, if you are a new hire and you want to train yourself to become, let's say, proficient, so you're able to develop, then it takes about 3 months. It really depends how much time a student gets to pass this first booster in the journey, but on average it takes 3 months to become proficient. Of course, as stated, there is always the possibility to connect with an instructor. So we have the instructors; they probably will react well on business days within 1 hour. And well, most of the messages are replied actually within 1 day. So if you need help, then there is always an instructor available actually to support you. Any questions regarding this piece? Any chats for now, Augusta? I can't see the chat.
No, it's all fine. We can
Oh,
proceed
fine.
here.
Oh, fine. Okay. Then we will just continue. I will share. This is the last switch. Now I'm not switching anymore. So as you can see, the learning journeys are for new hires and experience, even for meteors. So it's for, well, actually every level within your company. And it's a complete journey. So it's not that it's an all-you-can-eat restaurant. No, you can see there is really a flow in here. Even for the experienced ones, we offer a lot of content and a lot of training to become more professional and to stay also as an expert. So you see all these different topics over here. If you go to our website, Companial Learning Journeys, you can see all the details behind all this training. And just to give you an idea, if you put one of your new hires in the development training journey, the total cost of all these trainings and webinars together is over 10,000 euros. So there's a lot in it, and every day, well, every month, we add new content and we update content. So yeah. We also received questions. Well, Herman, this is only for Business Central. Are you planning to develop also the learning journeys for other platforms? Well, as you can see, there is already a lot of Power Platform content in these two journeys. And we are thinking of developing a learning journey for other platforms as soon as we have enough volume. Because if you look at the pricing, we are offering these learning journeys, then you will see that we need a lot of volume actually to maintain and develop these learning journeys. Well, it's not that we have created something completely new, because the learning journeys are based on the Business Central boosters. And as you can see, they were, well, maybe you were even there, maybe you even voted for them. They are community award winner for during directions for their Business Central boosters. And you can see a lot of partners already follow these Business Central boosters. They are all in there in the journey, so you can, well, you will directly have access to all these great Business Central boosters, which were developed by Platan. Well, about the pricing, as stated, we think that as a center of expertise, we should offer this in a way that every partner every single partner of Companial, but also future partners of Companial can access this training, because it's extremely important if we want to grow our channel to have the right experts in our ecosystem. So we looked at it, and we aim for volume. And because we are aiming for volume, you can drop the prices. You know how it works. So let me explain a little bit how the pricing works. First of all, if you look at our contract, it's really similar to NCE. So the contract period is in an NCE. How we calculate the prices is NCE. So we actually have a 1-year contract, we have a 3-year contract optional, and we have 1 seat for 1 month. So if you look at the seats, it's like back in the old days, for the ones who are with us or in our ecosystem for a long time, like myself. In the past, Navision was sold in a concurrent user way. Well, this is actually exactly the same. You buy seats. So you can buy 1 seat, you can buy 10 seats, you can buy 20 seats, 40 seats, whatever you want. And you decide who's using that seat. So for instance, if you buy the 10 seats, it will cost you 830 euros a month. And the contract period is 1 year. And then you get more or less 10 seats for the learning journey. And you decide who's using that seat. So it's actually more or less a classroom, how you can say it. A classroom with 10 seats for your company, and you can decide who's on that seat. So if you're boarded on the program, you will receive a portal where you actually can invite your own colleagues to use that seat. And if you look at the story I've told you, actually you can also see it as a kind of an insurance, because if you hand over that seat to one of your employees, you are directly actually already showing them that you are investing in learning, in personal development, actually that you are investing actually in that employee life cycle. So we don't expect that there is a lot of change of seats, but of course it's possible if one of your employees is leaving, or you have a new hire who leaves you in that, well, critical first moment still. Then you have that seat free, and then you can put another employee on that seat. You also see in the top some small figures that are actually the turnover moment. So for instance, if you have 6 employees, it's better to buy a classroom with 10 seats, because that's cheaper. You see it if you have more than 30 employees, or you need more than 13 seats, then it's better to buy that different package. So it's fixed packages. So just to give you an example, if you need 60 seats, you have to buy a package of 40 and a package of 20, because that's how the combination works. The employee value proposition toolkit, it comes with the packages. And if you want to try it for just 1 month, or then you think, well, Herman, I have a new hire. I'm not really sure if I want to buy a complete annual contract. Then, as stated, you can also buy a single month for 1 user package. For the one who have a membership with Companial, you probably know, then you get service funds. I saw Johan, you are also in the call, if I forget something to tell about it, but you can use these service funds for your learning journeys. So for a lot of partners, they can already start with the learning journeys without investing a lot of money. Yeah, that's actually about the pricing. Any questions about the pricing? Augusta?
No, it's
Do
all
you
fine.
yeah, I only have 1 screen, and I try to work with 2 screens, but I learned that this doesn't work for me. So then I will continue. So if you look actually at this investment, it's my dear colleague Agnete is always talking about, Herman, this is just a cup of coffee. So the investment, if you look back to the pricing, it's around 2 euros a day per employee. So the investment actually in creating actually a learning journey is 2 euros per employee per day. It's I was always on the delivery side. It's less than 1 chargeable hour per month as an investment. So we really think with this to help our partners in actually recruiting new hires in new ponds, students, maybe compete ERP colleagues into our pond, in our ecosystem, but also make sure that the ones who are in there, the experts where we invested a lot of money, that they stay. And how can they stay? Because we are helping you actually to invest in that learning journey culture. Well, if you look at the investigation, if you are investing in that learning journey culture, your retention rate will go up. Well, you see it, the figures are high, will go up with almost close to 50%. So that's, I think, from a financial point of view, a very good investment because, well, I think if you look at the investment, if one of your employee leaves, then you already have the return on investment already back for your whole company. So your call to action, I think the key message over here is that you really have to create that learning culture. So if you're not investing in that learning culture, my suggestion or our strong advice is create that learning journey. So make sure that you're seen as the employer of choice, not in the attraction phase, but also to your existing employees. Make sure that directly from day one, from moment one, if you have candidates, show them that you are a learning company, that there is a learning culture. Show them that you have that learning journeys in place where they can develop themselves. On the first day of onboarding, hand over the credentials to their journey. As stated, it's self-explaining. You can directly hand over that seat to them, and they can directly start and dive into the latest skill set. Response fast on these skills because, well, our ecosystem is evolving, actually evolving almost, it looks like it's evolving every day. I started 25 years ago. I implemented Navision with a server, and sometimes the server is still running after 25 years. We are in a different skill. We need different skills. We need to be future ready, and employees want to be future ready because they want to add value also to your company. And then actually the development, we all want to develop. We are in an ecosystem. We are in an industry. We need to develop, and everybody understands that they have to develop, and they want to develop themselves. So let's give everybody the tools to develop themselves. And if you want to leave, maybe retire, make sure that everybody was proud to work for your company and that they leave actually as great ambassadors. So we have created the EVP toolkit and the learning journey actually to help you in this complete employee life cycle. So I already gave you a lot of information. If you go to our website, and I'm pretty sure Augusta will put something in the chat box now to give you the links to our website, you can read the documentation about the learning journeys. There is also a downloadable about the pricing model. So if you want to find out the details about the pricing, you will find some documents on our website. And if you want to join, actually, you can join now. You don't have to wait. You can actually join now. And how does it work? You go to the learning journeys on our website. You'll find a button over there, get started, or actually enroll. Then you can leave your name and your wishes behind there. And then one of our PSMs will contact you to finalize the contracts and make sure that you can consume your service funds. Then you receive a login to the portal as a manager. And with that login, you can add your students, your employees to the learning journey. You can decide on which learning journey they follow, developer or consultants, what's their entry level. You can work with your employees to set milestones. For instance, if you have a new hire, maybe you say, well, before the summer holiday, I want to make sure that you are proficient in as a developer. You can set that, and you can also measure the progress of your students. And of course, use the employee value proposition toolkit actually to stand out in the crowd. You've seen it, 45% is fishing also on your employees. So make sure that you use the EVP toolkit also to attract new hires, but also retain your existing employees. With that, I go to my last slide. I think I still have about 10 minutes left. So I'm not sure, Augusta, if everything is working, but let's open up the mic. Is that possible?
Yes, it is. So anyone who wants to ask the questions can unmute, themselves or can write in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, Augusta, everybody who's in the call right now will receive a message from Augusta, I think tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, with, of course, the PowerPoint I've presented today and the link to the recording, right?
Yes, you're correct. I'll send the recording and the email.
Herman, it's Andy here.
Hey, Andy.
How are you?
Yeah, good. And you?
Yes, all good. I thought I would just jump in, just give a practical example of when you're saying adding content as things become available. We've just released the core Power Platform Specialist for Business Central, which you showed clearly when you went into the portal, right? So that's a typical example. When something new happens and is released, then it will feed into the corresponding journey. So yeah, that's just a practical, that's how it works. Something is released, is in production, right? So it feeds into the learning journeys. So we obviously have new titles coming in soon, and we are starting to develop some very interesting and unique ones as well, and they will feed in when they're ready.
Yeah. Thank you for that addition, Andy.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So maybe it's also good to say that if you are preparing for MCCP, so for your certification, you need to have at least, well, the easiest way to reach the point is to have a few consultants on the MB 800 level, right, Andy? So all the preparations for the MB 800 are also in the learning journeys.
Correct. So just to specify that, because one of the questions we get is, oh, it doesn't say MB 800. Why do I see PL 100, PL 900, etc., etc.? It's because those are Microsoft curriculum-based webinars, okay, with an instructor. So that's why you see that specified in the title. But if you look at the very, very top bit in the journey, the core specialist in Business Central for the consultant track, that has all the content required by the MB 800 exam. So if you actually look at it from a description-based thing, so if you click on the Platan website, it will take you to the description. It will say MB 800 aligned. Okay.
Yeah.
And likewise, you mentioned the developer exam, and I can confirm you're right. Yes, it's being planned at the moment. And the good news is that our content within the development journey, so the core development journey, will be aligned to that anyway. So you don't have to wait really for Microsoft to release that exam whenever that's going to be. But your students can start, preparing today, and then you have the assurance that the content that they studied on is what they're going to find within the exam. Because at Platan, we are directly involved in, the works behind Business Central exams, so we know.
Yeah. Great. I don't see any further questions. So I think we are fine right now. So, well, go to the learning journeys. It's already in the link. If you have any questions, just reach out to me or to marketing@companial.com. Then the answers will be given to you. And for now, I'll thank you very much for attending this session. And I hope to see you in one of the learning journeys. Thank you very much.